Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to be going over Inspired Ultimatum. So I'm continuing on in my little mini series of ultimatums. Inspired Ultimatum is the American one. It's red, white, and blue. It is 20 mana and has deal 10 damage to any opposing target, gain 10 life, and draw 5 cards. Now, I happen to like Inspired Ultimatum quite a bit, but unlike the other ultimatums, it actually requires other cards to be good. So cards like Genesis Ultimatum, Ruinous Ultimatum, Eerie Ultimatum, even, like, you can get away with just them being really powerful cards, whereas Inspired Ultimatum definitely requires that you have other specific cards to make it good. That being said, you can get a lot out of Inspired Ultimatum, and I feel like this one is actually the best one for legacy play. So the deck that I decided to make around, as you hear a car doing donuts outside my house, that's fantastic. They should bring me donuts. You know, like why don't these like hoodlums ever bring me donuts? Never mind. I'm sorry. Tangent. Back on track. Inspired Ultimatum, because this dude is clearly making donuts. Look at this. Look at all that magma. Some hot donuts, glazed donuts. Still off track. I'm sorry. All right. Inspired Ultimatum. I'm not inspired by donuts. Inspired Ultimatum is really good with Song of Creation. So these two are both from Ikoria, and so you're going to get a lot of really nice synergy out of these two together. But Song of Creation has Resourceful 5 when you cast an all-on card, draw 2 cards, blah, 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 and then Resourceful 5. So that's going to be the first 5 cards you draw in a turn after your first one. The first card in your hand gains 3 mana for each other card in your hand. So with Song of Creation and Inspired Ultimatum, it makes it so that Inspired Ultimatum does all of its stuff, but then you're guaranteed to be able to cast whatever the first card in your hand is, because you're just going to get so much mana. Like, it's crazy. It's something like, what, it's 27 and then 36, and then 42, 45. It's 45 mana. You're giving 45 mana the first card in your hand. Yeah, you're going to be able to play it. Like, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, Inspired Ultimatum draws you cards, so that means that you can also use it in conjunction with Avaricious Dragon. So not only are you going to get all of the mana to the first card in your hand because of Song of Creation, but Avaricious Dragon is going to help to charge up the mana to the other cards in your hand too, because Avaricious Dragon says whenever you draw a card, destroy 3 gems of the opponent's color. This means that when you use Inspired Ultimatum with Song of Creation and Avaricious Dragon, you're going to get some pretty wacky turns. Now, if you factor in that Pyromancer's Goggles has Activate 3 to fetch the next spell from your library, and then make that last spell in your hand free, it's going to make it so that the Avaricious Dragon is very likely going to trigger the Goggles, and you're going to be able to potentially get a few of them off in a turn. I'm also choosing to run this with Niv Mizzet the Firemind, who has whenever you draw a card, this creature deals 1 damage to your opponent's Planeswalker and to their first creature. So this is just going to pair even more with the card draw. I've got Whirlwind of Thought to get even more card draw and some loyalty gains. And then I have got Ruinous Ultimatum, because Ruinous Ultimatum, let's face it, is the best removal card in the game. We've got, that's not a spoiler for the Ruinous Ultimatum video, but it low-key is definitely the best. Kess. Kess, just like in the previous one, is going to be getting us stuff back for free. Yes, I know that the ultimatums like to exile themselves, minus Ruinous Ultimatum, which means that with Kess you can just go and machine gun destroy everything that your opponent holds dear to them. But yeah, Kess is fantastic for this. And then we've got Gem Conversion with Castle Vantress and Mystic Sanctuary. Now, this is going to draw us cards and get us spells back, convert stuff to blue, yada, yada, yada. The Planeswalker that I decided to use for this is Rawl. So you're going to get to that third ability really darn quickly with all these cards, and then that's going to make it so that when you cast your spells, you're going to be dealing additional damage and drawing more cards. So you kind of get the idea. With all the card draw, Avaricious Dragon's going to be going to town, Song of Creation's giving us a bunch of mana, and ideally we can do some pretty silly things. So I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. Let's get into it. Karn. You are going to regret this match. All right, so we've got Avaricious, Whirlwind of Thought, and the Ultimatum in our starting hand. We're definitely going to want to get the Avaricious down first, because the Avaricious is going to destroy gems, which could potentially get us mana. Drawing Pyromancer's Goggles here is kind of like a next best case scenario type of draw too. So we're going to want the Whirlwind to come down. I really should actually move Pyromancers in my hand up above the Inspired Ultimatum. I don't really have a really good reason to have it where it is. Getting a Mystic Sanctuary would be good too, because that's going to get me some gem conversion. So let's go ahead and move that up. And then, yeah, we want the goggles above that. I actually want to get the Whirlwind of Thought down before I get the Mystic Sanctuary down. That's just so that I can get a little bit of bonus loyalty and card draw, which means that the Avaricious Dragon is going to start popping things. Now, playing against Karn is kind of unfortunate, just in that Karn doesn't have any specific colors, so that means that Avaricious Dragon's going to go ahead and destroy everything, which means that my supports are going to get dinged way more than they normally would in a match like this. Now, the next card I'm putting down is Song of Creation. I'm just hoping that it's going to help me get out the Pyromancer's Goggles, and you'll see, look at this mana gain. Like, that's just absolutely absurd. So yeah, we're definitely going to get the Pyromancer's Goggles down. We're almost going to get enough mana down to be able to play that Inspired Ultimatum in my hand. And that definitely means that we'll be able to play it this next turn. So we'll draw our starting card, and then, yeah, we'll definitely be able to play that Inspired Ultimatum here. So we've already got enough loyalty for our third. Thank you, Whirlwind of Knowledge. And so let's just go ahead, take the red match, and play the Inspired Ultimatum. So that lets us burn Karn for 10, and then now we get to start drawing. You might be wondering, well, Nelthazar, why didn't you play the Song of Creation in your hand first? Or why didn't you just dump it? So I didn't dump it because I knew that Avaricious was going to start taking out all my supports. And so I figured that with playing the second one from my hand, getting this Avaricious down, which is going to draw me more cards, that would get me enough to be able to play whatever the next thing was in my hand anyways, which it did. And then Ruinous Ultimatum there for getting rid of one card. That's definitely the best use you're ever going to see of a Ruinous Ultimatum on my channel. And so here we get to pick anything. I'm going to take another Inspired Ultimatum. I know it's going to get dumped right back into the graveyard, but it's just for like a, haha, I got something for free, even though I really didn't, because, you know, it's free stuff, not from me. Anyways, so we're going to look at our hand. We definitely want to play the Song of Creation here, because in playing Song of Creation, it's going to make it so that we draw cards, and then in drawing cards, we're going to get a ton of mana. And so even though the Song of Creation, you know, we have to actually play it to get the resourceful triggers, it's going to definitely play us our Kess here. So Kess comes down. You'll see that my hand is chock full of mana. We're definitely going to be able to cast this Inspired Ultimatum. We're going to be able to drop another 6 on Karn due to Rawl's Ultimate. We're going to be able to play a Castle Vantress. We're going to be able to play a second Ultimatum here this turn. Unfortunately, because of all the card draw, it does mean that this turn Kess is not going to be giving us an Inspired Ultimatum back. Oh wait, I'm forgetting that Song of Creation gets rid of everything. And I planned for this. Yes, I planned for it so that I would get all this free stuff. Yeah, definitely. Thopter Spy Network does not terrify me, nor does Karn's Token, because Ruinous Ultimatum is here to ruin us his day. That wasn't clever analysis. All right, so taking Whirlwind of Thought there was a suspect move at best. I should have definitely taken Inspired Ultimatum, because the Ruinous Ultimatum is going to trigger the goodness, and so I would have been able to... When I say the goodness, by the way, I am naturally referring to the dragon popping gems and stuff. All right, so there I actually went for that 4 landfall instead of the 5, which would have given me an extra swap, because I wanted the bonus card. And so I figured the bonus card would get me an Ultimatum. And so I definitely wanted to be able to play said Ultimatum. So we're going to burn Karn there. We're going to play another Kess. And then this is going to be the end of Karn. So we're going to be able to ding him with another Inspired Ultimatum. It's going to draw us another card. My computer is going to run out of power. And that's all she wrote. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.